This has major OKC implications. No coincidence, Big Perk rocking a Thunder jacket while breaking the news that Bradley Beal will miss the rest of this season with a fractured hip. And with the Thunder owning an unprotected first-round Clippers pick as the final piece of the infamous SGA Paul George trade that helped build this organization back up, this is going to be an insanely valuable asset, especially coming from a team that is built like a retirement home, set to collapse like a house of cards, and is already at the bottom of a tough Western Conference, out of the play-in as we speak. This is going to be an insane video. I can't wait to break this down. We're going to talk about Bradley Beal's injury. We're going to talk about the trade that netted this pick to the Thunder. We're going to talk about how the Thunder might use this pick. And lastly, how I see the Clippers season finishing out. Hint, it is not going to be pretty for those old guys out in LA. But first, Gabriel Ebersole with Thunder Digest, where 68% of you guys watching are not subscribed to the channel. Guys, Thunder won 68 games last year, franchise record, first franchise championship, and they have a chance to do even better this year. They're on pace to do even better this year. And me and Ryan, well, we just want to keep you guys up to date with all your Thunder basketball and all in one place. So let us do that by subbing up, and we are trying to hit 8K by All-Star break, so helps with that as well. Without any further ado, let's get into an insane video for today.
What did we get? What did we get? Did we get any more draft picks? I would love more draft picks. Oh, sick! The 2026 first round pick. Wow! Yo, in 2026, we're gonna be so good, bro. We also got the 2022 first round pick.
With the 12th pick, with the second pick in the 2022 NBA Draft, the Oklahoma City Thunder select Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren.
Sometimes you just got to trust the process, and that process has netted us a championship roster with a chance to do us one better. As just in from Shams, Los Angeles Clippers guard Bradley Beal has a fracture in his left hip and will undergo season-ending surgery, sources tell ESPN. Now, obviously, I hope Bradley Beal gets healthy. Prayers up to him, but you are out for the season, buddy. And the Clippers, well, they are not exactly loaded on talent at this point, to the fact that they can afford to lose a single player on their roster, even a player who's been underperforming like Bradley Beal, which we will talk about later. But nonetheless, this is an insanely good break of news for OKC because this team owns an unprotected Clippers first-round pick, not a top 4 protected, not a top 3 protected, not a top 5 protected like some of the other picks we've gotten. This pick has no ceiling on how much of an asset it can be to our team. Not to mention, it is going to be used by the best GM in the sport. I trust Sam Presti with my life, my basketball team, whatever. I trust Sam Presti to make the best move with this pick, whether it's trade it because we have a full roster of active guys who are helping this team, or if it's using that pick to select the next franchise superstar. I am completely sure that this will pay off insane dividends for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Taking a look at that pick, we have our pick next year, and obviously the unprotected pick we just talked about. Houston with a top 4 protected pick to us. We have a Utah pick loaded up for next year's draft. But this Clippers pick, unprotected, I have a feeling it will be our best asset coming into that draft. And this is going to be insanely more valuable now that the Clippers have a major injury on their roster. They were already an insanely old team to begin with. I don't see them getting better as the season goes on. I honestly see their legs fatiguing and their jump shots going as the season goes on and getting passed up by a few teams that they're even above right now. And this is just great news as a Thunder fan, because we are going to revel from the final part of the SGA trade, which we're going to revisit right now, because we gave up Paul George. Just Paul George. And in return, we received SGA, great starting piece, I would say. Danilo Gallinari was fun to watch whenever OKC was not very good, to be honest. We got a Miami first-round pick that turned into Trey Mann back in 2021, a Clippers first-round pick that turned into Jalen Williams in 2022, and then we had the Miami first-round pick in last year's draft, which we traded, the pick swap with the Clippers, which we took, and then the final piece of the puzzle is this 2026 LA Clippers first-round pick. You see no protections by that, no insurance policies by that. Clippers just throw it all out the window, and it is blowing up in their face right now. We are going to possess that pick, even if we go back-to-back, even if we win 75 games this year in the championship. We could have a shot at the number 1 pick, just depending on how bad the Clippers are. And this team is poorly constructed, set to fall apart even more as the season goes on, and boy, am I here for it as a Thunder fan. But you might be wondering how we got all of that out of the Paul George trade. Well, to be honest, Paul George had some real value back then, man, because whenever he got traded, 2018, 2019, he averaged 28 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, and over 2 steals per game, was a finalist for both MVP and DPOY. And Sam Presti, using that foresight, he knew that core was not good enough to win a championship. And baby, it is about championships. It is about winning time. And he made the move, pulled the trigger, and reset that team, getting a haul of draft picks in return. This is the final one, and this could be the biggest one, ladies and gentlemen. I can't stress that enough. We could land another franchise player for another 10, 15 years with this pick if it sets up correctly for us. And taking a look at the standings, the Clippers are struggling, man. This is already set to be a pretty decent pick. They're 3-7 right now, and they're above teams that honestly could pass them as the year goes on. The Mavericks are young. I could see them developing a little bit better. The Pelicans, a younger team that, I mean, they never really advance, even though every year they're supposed to be a young, good team that gets better. They never do. Whatever. The Kings looked pretty good last night against the Nuggets. I could see them passing them up. The Clippers, man, they are an old team full of old players that is set to get worse. I'm talking about the unction right now, dude. 33.2 average age on the roster. This team is just full of old guys who are going to continue to decline and play and hope. I mean, I don't wish injury on anybody, but like, you can kind of see some things come. Like, you got Kawhi on your roster. You got Chris Paul, who's been pretty injury-prone on your roster these last few years. You got, I mean, I like Brook Lopez, to be honest. I'm not going to talk anything bad about Brook Lopez. But you get the point. This team is an old team. And thinking that they're going to get better as the season goes on is kind of unrealistic. This team is going to fatigue as the year goes on. And they already aren't playing very well to begin with. So I don't see them improving upon that play very much, and as they continue to just drop in the standings, this just gets better and better for Oklahoma City and pays more dividends to us. So I'm just looking at Beal joined the Clippers this past offseason on a 2-year, $11 million deal with a player option for next year that potentially clears the way for him to hit free agency next summer. But this is the only thing I'm worried about, right? Because underneath this, Bradley Beal has been playing awful this season before he got injured, and I'm kind of worried that him getting injured could, in a way, make the Clippers even a little bit better, because the Clippers are 1-3 without Beal this season, so I don't expect them to be, like, good, but they have a 128.5 defensive efficiency with him on the court, which is, I mean, he's the worst on the team, and then compared to him off the court, they're at 113.8, so significantly better with him off the court defensively. And you might be saying, oh, well, Bradley Beal's an offensive player. He's a scorer of the basketball. This is not 2018. This is not Washington. Bradley Beal has been awful this year at pretty much every aspect of basketball, including scoring it. He's max amount of points he scored has been 12. He's been shooting absolute dookie this year from the field, and he's never provided any playmaking aspect, any rebounding, any defense, and he continues to do that. So I'm kind of worried in a regard that this could make them a little bit better of a team now that he's not there, especially when you just look at the fact that he has been on a crazy decline. He's averaging 8.2, 1.7 assists, shooting 38% from the field before he got injured. I mean, of course, he could have picked it up as the season went on, but we won't never know. The Clippers, on the other hand, will now have to trek through a rough Western Conference without Bradley Beal, and they're really just relying on James Harden, Kawhi's health, which is something big to rely on, to be honest. They're relying on guys like Brook Lopez and just a bunch of older guys who are not going to be able to sustain playing heavy minutes for a long season. And this is going to result in losses in back-to-backs, just fatigue in shooting, and they're just going to be getting worse as the season goes on. And that means the Thunder's pick will be getting better as the season goes on. And then the way they use this pick, I want to stress once again, that, yes, we have a full roster inked through the next season, but, like, you have Sam Presti at GM. If this ends up being a top 5 pick, I have complete faith in whatever he does. If he trades this pick for a 2031 pick, I would say thanks, Sam Presti, for making sure we're going to be good in 2031. If he uses that top 5 draft pick on a player right now, I would say thank you, Sam Presti, for drafting our next franchise superstar. That is how much faith I have in this man and, just his background, his history, and what he's done so far. And he has another chance, thanks to the Clippers, one last chance in that deal to get something miraculous done. A just huge asset in a draft that the Thunder would not have been capable of getting on their own with how good their team is. And the way that the Clippers didn't protect this pick at all, sky is the limit. I cannot believe they did not add a protection on that, because I could realistically see this team finishing with a bottom 5 or a bottom 3 record this year. I really could. They are built awfully as a team, and they are in the tougher of the two conferences. The East is a cakewalk. So, I mean, we are going to reap the benefits of this one more time. One more huge building piece for this team that is set to be a dynasty in the future, as already off to a hot start coming into this season. And one final look, we still have more picks on top of that. We have Philadelphia's top 4 protected pick next season, and then a top 8 protected Jazz pick next season. I don't believe we're going to get the Jazz pick. They do look very bad this year. And if I'm going to say that the Clippers are going to be a bottom 5 team, the Jazz are most certainly going to be a bottom 8 team. I will say that. So I see us getting the Sixers pick, though. They look pretty good early this year. But nonetheless, this has huge implications for the future of the Thunder. This Bradley Beal injury could play onto how the Clippers see themselves this season. I saw a headline saying this hurts the Clippers' title chances, Bradley Beal injury. Boy, the Clippers were not making it anywhere near the Western Conference Finals, the second round of the playoffs. Like, they were not getting anywhere near that. This just ensures that they are on the fast track to the bottom of the standings, which means OKC is on the fast track to the top of the draft. This has been Gabriel Ebersole breaking some insanely important Thunder news. I do once again want to stress, get better, Bradley Beal, recover from that surgery. Hope you can come back and play again. But you are already announced out for the season, so I might as well celebrate the fact that the Clippers probably will be getting worse in some regard from this, just in depth and anything like that. So the Thunder are set for the future as it already stands, but they have a chance to get an even extra, lifeline for this. This has been Gabriel Ebersole with Thunder Digest, breaking down the Bradley Beal injury and the Thunder's implications because of it. Make sure you sub up so you can catch me and Ryan in the next one. We're trying to bring you guys daily content, and we're trying to hit 8K by All-Star break, so help us do that. This has been Gabriel Ebersole. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.